Hello. Hi, ladies. Happy Wednesday. Happy Australia Day. Happy Republic Day. Hello. Hi, ladies. Knock, knock. Who is there? Yay! I can see two people. Do you want to say hello to me? Hello. Thank you, Kavita. Thank you. Hi. Come on, ladies. A hump day. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Latana Grajanti. That reminds me, Mom is here. You should speak to her. I'll get her to contact you on one of these days. Hi, Shweta is saying hello, Hema. Hi, Shweta. Hi, Kirti. Thank you, ladies. I have to have my glasses. It's so small. Hi, Hema Ore and Auntie. Thank you, Kavita. Hope you all had a great day. Everyone in India and Australia are celebrating special days, and it's a public holiday in both countries, right? So you all should have a relaxed day, and of course celebrate it in the spirit, either Australia or India, or a combination of Indo-Australia or Australia-India, whatever combination it is, right? I'm sure you all would have had a great time, relaxed time for yourself. It could be anything. I had the pleasure to attend a lunch in the afternoon, so there was no cooking for me. And in fact, since Mom has arrived 2 weeks ago, no cooking for me at all. She's taking care of the kitchen. Well, I enjoy cleaning. It's very, very mindfulness for me. So I thoroughly enjoy cleaning, especially, I don't know how many of y'all enjoy. It's one of the boring chores, isn't it? But for me, I kind of practice mindfulness while cleaning. It's actually washing each and every, though I have a dishwasher, I don't use them. I've got 2 dishwashers at home. I don't use them. So it's basically the traditional Indian style, you rinse it and again you kind of score it, pat it, whatever you do, and then again clean it and then put it on to the side in the dish racker. So that's what I enjoy doing. It's really the mindfulness, the water, the tap water flowing on it, the feeling of the water, the force of the water. That's what I enjoy. I don't know how many of you all do that. But anyway, not to go or delve into the concept of cleaning. I'll bring across one day another cleaning scenarios and tips and what I do and everything, so you'll get an idea. Right, I've got a few people in here who have joined. Smita, thank you for joining in. All right, ladies, welcome to Wholesome Wednesday. It's session number 85, and we were talking all about financial health check. But the presenters are, it's Mom and myself. I'll tell a little bit later. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, Shweta, who was meant to do, she's unable to do it. So she will be again given an opportunity in the coming months. So it was a last minute decision and I thought, okay, I have to kind of come up with something. So it's a combination of both, Mom's tips for senior citizens, as well as my general tips. I'm not a financial expert, but my son is a financial advisor, so I've just got some tips from him. Hopefully that should work, right? So that's what we are talking about today. Well, let me just say and greet everyone saying Happy Australia Day and Happy Republic Day once again. And happy birthdays to all the gorgeous ladies who celebrated their birthday. from last week up until today, and I'll be mentioning the names for the birthday girls today. So wishing you all a very, very happy birthday. And today's birthdays are shared by Sangeeta Talukdar, Vidya Kiran and Swapna Shekhar. And again, the birthdays continue, and I'll try and wish everyone on my Saree Gallery platform, whoever has a friend request sent across to me, and those are the ones get populated with all their details. So if I'm able to capture those ones, and those are the ones which will be publicized in the Saree Gallery, wishing you all a very happy birthday. So if you have one of your birthdays which is being missed, I apologize. So perhaps you can message me saying it's your birthday or it's your friend's birthday. I would be very, very delighted to add you all in and wish you all a very happy birthday. And coming to national days, today it's really special because we are celebrating the national day of both the countries, which is Australia and India, coming from India. Okay, Australia is Happy Australia Day. And if you are wondering what Australia Day is, for my Indian Saree Gallery friends from India, Australia Day is the official National Day of Australia, and it is celebrated annually on the 26th of January, and it marks the anniversary of the 1788 arrival of the first fleet of British ships at Port Jackson in New South Wales, and the raising of the flag of Great Britain at Sydney Cove by Governor Arthur Phillip. In present-day Australia, celebrations reflect the diverse society and landscape of the nation and are marked by community and family events, reflections on Australian history, official community awards, citizenship ceremonies, and welcoming the new members to the Australian community. It's such a great way. And I'm sure there would be plenty of ladies who would have taken their citizenship. If at all you have taken your citizenship of Australia, welcome, welcome to becoming the Australian citizen, right? Just in a nutshell, the population of Australia is about 24.6, I'll say 25 million, nearing. And Australia is the sixth largest country in the world. Australia is almost the same size of mainland USA. And every year, about 16,000 people become Australian citizens. So if any of the Saree Gallery members have become citizens, just say hi, saying I have become a citizen today, and I'll wish you all again. And the Australian Alps get more snow than the Swiss Alps. I didn't know this, and that's a nice trivia, right? 90% of Australians live on the coast. Fraser Island in Australia is the world's largest sand island. Wow, I didn't know this, saying it's a sand island. There are over 10,000 beaches in Australia. Beach lovers, make a note of this. And Australian deserts are home to over 1 million camels. Australia exports some of their camels to the Middle East as well, because Middle East is known for its deserts. And in fact, Australia exports some of their camels. This is such a good trivia there. And there are over 300 different languages and dialects in Australia. I think it is more to do with the Aboriginal and the Indigenous dialect. So that's where it's coming from. Australia is home to the world's longest golf course, which is 850 miles long. I'm sure my golfers who did the session saying, golfing and sarees, they would be delighted to note this, saying it's one of the world's largest golf course. Wow. And there are over 60 separate wine regions in Australia. Of course, Australian wine is very popular, isn't it? So that's a little bit of Australia, and I need not tell anything about India, but I do have to say that we are celebrating Indian Republic Day, which honors the date on which the Constitution of India came into effect on the 26th of January in 1950, replacing the Government of India Act in 1935 as the governing document of India. The Constitution was adopted by the Indian Constituent Assembly on the 26th of November 1949 and came into effect on the 26th of January 1950 with a democratic government system completing the country's transition towards becoming an independent republic. So 26th January was chosen as the Republic Day because it was on this day in 1929 when Declaration of Indian Independence, which is the Purna Swaraj, was proclaimed by the Indian National Congress as opposed to the dominion status offered by the British regime. It's all done and dusted now, and we are independent nation, and we are proud to celebrate both the Republic Day and the Australia Day on the same day. And mom coming from India, she's celebrating it here, and I'm an Australian citizen now, so I'm celebrating here. So it's both a combination of India and Australia here in Australia. And today is also the International Customs Day, right? So this day recognizes the role of custom officials and agencies in maintaining the flow of goods across the world's borders. On this day, members of the World Customs Organization also showcase their efforts and activities. We all know, going back and forth to our countries, what customs mean. So let us give a round of applause to all the customs officer who guard us and also take care of us, right? So that is what's needed. And the next one is the celebration of National Green Juice Day for all the health chicks who are into, like, you know, healthy drinking, healthy eating, etc., etc. So this is a way to celebrate the drinking of a green juice. It could be anything starting from kale to spinach to cucumber to whatever green. So drink green juice. And the next one is my favorite and mom's favorite too. It's the National Peanut Brittle Day. Did anyone think that Peanut Brittle Day is celebrated? Yes, it's one of the confectionaries which is hard and a flat candy, and it is enjoyed worldwide, right? So in India, we call it the chikki, and chikki is so popular, and it's similar to that, but with a different taste. Because in the peanut brittle, it's more sugar caramelizing, but in chikkis, it's more jaggery. So there's a little bit of difference there, and the taste differs. But as long as you enjoy peanut brittle in any form, that's how you can support the Peanut Brittle Day. The next one is the National Spouses Day. Come on, ladies. Celebrate the bond between two people and set aside the time for couples to show each other gratitude. You can just say, I love you, or you care for me, or whatever matters, maybe a peck on the forehead, whatever. Just show your support to your spouse, and that's the way you can support. So that's all I have for today's National Day. And tonight, before I start, I have to talk about our sarees. I'm going to post that tonight. We are so comfortably seated. So mom and myself both are wearing kind of similar, but it's not identical. It's a linen sarees, and mom's is a crisp linen. Mine is a soft linen. It's kind of like, depends when it is starched. If it is not starched, it's kind of like, literally flowy, and it's not kind of like, stiff. Whilst if you look at mom's, it's a little bit stiff. It's got a little bit of starch in it. And both the sarees has got shibori dyeing technique, which is being used. And you can see the shibori prints. And mine has a little bit of bandhani as well, like just a small dot. And it is both the sarees has got silver borders on both the sides. It's a little bit different, but it kind of like, looks similar. So these are our sarees tonight. And as I mentioned, linen actually, let me just tell you a little bit of linen. Linen is a textile which is made from the fibers of the flax plant, and it is very laborious to manufacture, and it is a fiber which is very strong, absorbent, and it dries faster than cotton. And garments made of linen are valued for their exceptional coolness and freshness in hot and humid weather. Just like today, it's kind of like humid, and it's really keeping both of us cool at the same time. And it is one of the easiest to drape sari, and it comes in different kinds of textures, as well as expensive to inexpensive, depending on the sari, the linen count of whatever is used in the sari. So depending on that, it could be an expensive sari, and or it could also be an inexpensive sari. So I've got both. I have got both in the expensive range as well as in the inexpensive range. And this is, I won't say this is an expensive one. This is a kind of like, intermediate. So this is the spiel about the linen sari tonight, which is being draped by both mom and myself. Right. So as I mentioned, due to unforeseen circumstances, we are not going ahead with the financial expert, and but I ended up kind of like, it will be a pretty quick session, and we'll be just talking about finance in general, and just some tips to take home, and perhaps maybe you can implement those ones to try and keep your financial health check to the maximum. Like, you can get a great tip to keep in control of your finance. Right. So we have spoken about our countries gaining freedom. So tonight we wanted to talk about financial freedom, and obviously not from the expert. So just a little bit of tips and whatever, we are going to converse, if that helps. That would be, if it is beneficial for you, you can kind of like, get something to take away from today's conversation. And to become financially independent, one must turn part of your income into capital, turn capital into enterprise, turn enterprise into profit, turn profit into investment, and turn investment into financial independence. So that's how financial independence is gained, and one can be financially independent. So real wealth is all about freedom. So being in control of our finances is a great stress reliever. So basically, we do need a financial plan, and which is like a roadmap that shows us exactly how the choices we make today will affect our future. So coming from India, like, it is kind of like inground into us, the concept of savings since we are kids, right? So that's what mom did, and that's what I did as well. And it kind of like, continues. And that's how, we are born and brought up. I'm sure majority of us are in the same boat. If you're not, perhaps maybe it was an exception, but majority of us are kind of like, drilled into the way we kind of like, handle our finances, and how we control it, and how we do the savings and everything. It kind of like, we just follow a pattern, maybe from our parents or maybe from the elders we would have seen, and it kind of like continues. If you ladies have done something different, perhaps maybe you can kind of like, message me, or you can text me in the comment box. If it is something to take away, it's worth doing it. Perhaps, everyone's has got a different kind of like, persona, and like how it is done and how it is, handled might be different, but the end product is just basically, being a financially independent. So that's what it is. And we are talking about financial health check, which is one-on-one conversation between like, me and mom, just a little bit. Mom is going to talk about from the senior citizen perspective, and, understanding the financial needs, and, which can include like financial goal setting, budgeting, the process of buying property, debt management, saving options, and, in our age, it's the retirement planning. So that's one of the major ones which play a major role. So it's just, just before we do that, we have to manage both the expenses versus the income what we have. So the income categories in general are minimal, whilst compared to the expenses, which are at the other end of the spectrum. It kind of like, it's like a fan, like, you just open one and it kind of like spreads out. So the income item is less, whilst the spending items are more. So to just name a few of the income items, of course, the very first one which tops is the salary/wages, right? And the next one is all about bonuses, if at all you have any bonus set aside, and you have the interest and dividends, provided like, you have sufficient money in the bank, which can earn interest and dividend, and also rents and royalties and retirement income. So it's kind of like minimal when we compare to the expenses, what we have. If I kind of like read the list of expenses, I kind of like, just put it together, and I was thinking, wow, so income is very minimal, but expenses, it's like, it's huge. Just to start off with, elder care, child care, debt payments, which could be in the form of like, it could be car loan, student loan, credit card, it could be anything, right? And then you have the education, which could be in the form of tuitions, of course, coming from India, like tuitions, which is very popular, isn't it? So students and tuitions go hand in hand, education, and then again the daycare, and you have the books, the supplies, etc. And then comes the entertainment and recreation, right? Everyone needs entertainment and recreation. So it could be in the form of books, movies, hobbies, sports, concerts, streaming services gets a greater tick. You have Netflix, you have Stan, you have Amazon Prime, you have multi-channels when you compare it to India, right? You have enormous streaming services, and which has gained popularity because of COVID, and all the online platforms are, they have their own styling features. So entertainment is in the hierarchy of like, to the top. And then you have the concerts, like who can miss the concerts? And it's just picking up its gear now. So concerts. And then you have food, of course, groceries, dining out, which is like, restaurants. It could be anything. And, giving. It could be like, shelling out like, on your birthdays, holidays, and, charitable contributions. It could be anything. And then comes the housing, which is the mortgage or the rent and maintenance. And then you have the insurances, which could be health, or it could be home insurance. It could be auto. When I say it could, like, it's for your car or whatever it is. And then you have the life. So majority of our earnings kind of like, disappear in the form of insurances. And you have the medical health / healthcare insurance, which is, for the doctors, when you go to the doctors or when you go to the dentist, and when you have the prescription medications and, other known expenses, like it could be, which are like, optometry, dental, physio, you can name those ones. So those are the other type of expenses which are involved. Then comes the personal. Who can forget the personal? It's always, I want it, isn't it? It could be clothing, it could be anything. It can be, shoes, handbags, you name it. It's endless. The list is endless and it just goes on. And then the next one is mainly for health benefit, like, if you're into gym or if you're going into yoga. And because the online platforms have picked up now, so you can do all of those from the comfort of your house. Previously, you used to get reasons for not going to the gym or not going to your yoga classes or Zumba classes, Oh my God, I don't have time to go, but now you can do all at the comfort of your home. So all these are, kind of expenses. And then comes, special occasions like weddings, anniversaries, graduation, and, different kinds of special occasions. So you have to keep aside money for those. And then you have the savings. Of course, you have to do that, which is very much needed for, a general education, and it could be emergency fund, specific goals, such as leisure and travel. You need all of those. And then you have the transport, which could be for taxis or train or public transport, tolls, parking. I think I've covered all of those. And of course, the utilities. This is the most used one, which is it could be your phone, your mobile phone, your cable, your internet. Talk about electricity, water, gas, etc., etc. So these are the majority of the expenses which come from. So these are the ones which we have to balance between income versus expenses, and we have to keep track of those ones. Perhaps maybe do a goal setting tracker saying, this is how much I need. You set that aside. And based on that, you can work out what's needed and what's not needed, and what's urgent and what's not super urgent. So it's all in your hands, wherein you can set. So what's need to be expended and what needs to be saved, what needs to be set aside for future, etc., etc. It's all in our hands. And it's also in the mindset. So coming to mom, who is kind of listening to me, mom, since young age, like me, as a little girl, she always kind of drilled into me the concept of saving aside. Even it could be 5 rupees, or even it could be, I'm talking about 5 rupees zamana, in those days. Even 5 rupees was it was treasured. So even saving 5 rupees, 10 rupees, and then making it to hundreds. So that's how she had handled finance. And that's how, she has risen from the bottom to the top. And now she's so independent, and she has taught me to be the same. So that's how I'm kind of following her even to date. And it's kind of it's continued on. So in general, she coming from the background back home, she's just going to give a very general kind of tips as to how much you can save and how you can save, and how you can make it double, just in general terms, so that people who are watching can kind of exercise something of that and take home the benefit of doubling your finance. So Mom, I know you have started off from the scratch. So now tell me, I'm going to ask her in Kannada, she's more confident. So mummy, ಚಿಕ್ಕವರಿದ್ದಾಗ್ಲಿಂದನೂ you taught us ನಾವು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನೀನ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, how did you kind of know that you have to save on a monthly basis so that ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಆ ದುಡ್ಡು ನೀನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ತಗೋಬಹುದು ಅಂತ?
ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ಪಾಠ. ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಾವು ಆರ್.ಡಿಗಳು ಮಾಡೋದು. ಅವಾಗ ಅಂದರೆ 2000 ಇಟ್ಟರೆ ಅದೇ ಹೆಚ್ಚು, ಅದು ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕಿಷ್ಟು ಬರೋದು. ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದು, ಅದು 3 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ಗೆ 4 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಡಬಲ್ ಬರೋದು. ಆಗ ಡಬಲ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅದೇನಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕೋ ಅರ್ಜೆಂಟ್ ಖರ್ಚಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ನು ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದನ್ನು ಹಾಗೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡೋವಿ, ಡಬಲ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ನಾವು ಇದು ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಇದೇ ಥರ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು ಇಡೋದು. ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಸಂಬಳದಲ್ಲೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಫ್.ಡಿಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರೋವಿ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರಿಟೈರ್ಡ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸಿಟಿಸನ್ ಆದರೆ ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಗಂಡು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಯಾರು ಮುಂಚೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಗಂಡಸರು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾಮಿನಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ದುಡ್ಡು ಹೀಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡವರು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮನೆಯವ್ರ ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಬರೀ ಇದನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳೋರು, ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಎಫ್.ಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಎಫ್.ಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ. ಆದರೂ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ತಪ್ಪು ಕೆಲಸ. ಡಬಲ್ ಬರೋದನ್ನು ಅವರು ಯಾರು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅವರು ಇನ್ನೂ 1 ವರ್ಷ 3 ತಿಂಗಳು ಇದೆ ಅಂದಾಗ ಅದು ಎಫ್.ಡಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಅವರು ಡೆತ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಆ ಡೇಟ್ಗೆ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮಗೆ 2 ಲಕ್ಷ ಬರೋದು ಡಬಲ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟು ಅದು ಕಳೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ, 6, 8. ಆವಾಗ 1 ವರ್ಷದ್ದು ಇದು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗು 4% ಇದ್ದರೆ 4%ಗೆ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಇನ್ನೂ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಮುಗ್ದಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾರೇ ಆಗಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 5ರ ಸರ್ವೇಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಆವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟಿಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ಯಲ್ಲ, ಎಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡು ಅಂತ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ? 100 ರೂಪಾಯಿ
ನಮಗೆ ಬರೋ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಎಫ್.ಡಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರು ಈಗ 1000 ಕೊಟ್ರೆ 2000 ಕೊಡೋರು 4 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಬರೋವಿ. ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಬರೋ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಕಡಿಬಾರ್ದು. ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಖರ್ಚಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಪೇ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋರು. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಉತ್ತಮ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಕಡೆಗಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಮದುವೆ ಇದು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅದು ಹೆಂಗಸರೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು.
ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಮಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ನಾವು ಹೆಂಗಸರುಗಳು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕದ್ದು ಮುಚ್ಚಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಗಂಡಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಗಂಡಂದ್ರು ಹೆಂಡತಿಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲವು ಸರ್ತಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್, both the parties should know, both the husband and wife or the spouses should know each other's financial kind of income or what they are doing with the bank. And I did not mention about the will. Will is another one, which is also a requirement for finance, right? So you kind of specify in the will. So what mom is saying is, just make sure the spouse of yours know what the other person is doing. So just don't hide. So this is where it's very much needed, and to know what the benefit the other person would get when someone passes away. So that is what she's kind of emphasizing that. And ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಓಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ 1000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾವು ಚಿಕ್ಕವರಿದ್ದಾಗ 5 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಡಬಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಇವಾಗ ಆ ತರ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಇದೆ 10 ವರ್ಷ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಒಬ್ರಿಗೊಬ್ರು ತಿಳಿದಿರ್ಲಿ, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ, ಒಬ್ರೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂದಾಗೆ ಇಬ್ರು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾರಿಗಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ತಿಳಿದಿರ್ಲಿ. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಆಗಿ 10 ವರ್ಷವರೆಗೂ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ದು FD ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. 10 ವರ್ಷ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರೊಂದು ಫಂಡ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದಾಗಿರ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಹೇಳೋರು, ಹಿಂಗಿದೆ ದುಡ್ಡು, ಹಂಗಿದೆ, ಮರಿಬಾರ್ದು. ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಮರಿತಾರೆ. 100ಕ್ಕೆ 50 ಜನ ಮರ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡುಗಳು ಇದೆಯಂತೆ.
See, so that's what she's saying, if you're doing anything, let your spouses know that you're doing this. Of course, some people don't mention about shopping, like what they do. That one you can still keep it a secret, so it's not necessary for the spouses to know. I know some of them, do it unknowingly, but mine is an open book, so if I shop something, I'll tell. So Shweta is saying a budgeting rule is 50% on needs, 30% on wants, and 20% on savings. Yeah, that's true, but 50% is on needs, right? So I think it will exceed the 50% ruling, Shweta. But yeah, that's true. So we just have to manage in that ratio, I'm sure. And so she was telling about the deposit, like, when you put the deposit in the bank. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ? ನೀನೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಓಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ 1000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಇದೆ ಡೆಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ
ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ 36 ಮಂತ್ಗೆ 37 ಮಂತ್ಸ್ಗೆ 10% ಏನೋ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು ಈಗ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ. ಅದೇ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ಆದ್ರೆ 6%.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ
ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಓಕೆ. So that's the 6%, and perhaps maybe 8% for senior citizens. So you can avail an extra benefit of 2% there, which makes up 8%. And I've got a question for mom, because she always used to kind of like, do this. She never used to touch the principal amount. Say, like if there was like, 5,000 rupees, she never used to touch that. That used to kind of like, just remain there. And she used to take out the interest which used to come out of that. So, ನೀನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಹೇಳು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು?
ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದ ಖರ್ಚು, ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ, ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ಗಾಡಿ ತೆಕ್ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಆಗ ಸ್ಕೂಟ್ರು, ಲೂನಾ ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಹೆಚ್ಚು. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅದರಿಂದ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಲಿ, ನಮಗೆ ತೆಕ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದು ತೆಕ್ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮಾಡುವೆ. ಅದೇ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಓಡುವೆ.
So the wants what we have, that's what she's saying, it should come out from your interest. And this can also be deposited in a recurring deposit mode. So it kind of like, can continue, and it can double up. So your principal amount is still the same, but you can accumulate your interest. So, and she also says that the RD, which is the recurring deposit, should be always on a fixed deposit. So, and then make sure the FD when you do, this is for especially the Indian Saree gallery people who are watching there, make sure that you have either or survivor to get the maximum benefits. Otherwise, you lose all your benefits if one of the spouses passes away. So that's what she mentioned previously. So yeah, like I have learned a lot from mom, and that's how I've kind of like continued. And yeah, that's still kind of like continuous. Like I love shopping. When I go shopping, most of the time, like, I'm a very control freak. If I need something, if I'm desperate, I buy. If I'm not desperate, though I go with friends, and all of my friends know about this, and they do pull my leg. Oh, you did not buy anything. It doesn't hurt me. So that shouldn't be the fact, right? It shouldn't hurt. I kind of like, put that saying, like gossiping, like, it's not friends, kind of like, hurting or anything. So you shouldn't take that in those terms. But if your mind is very firm, right? So you can stick to what you have to do. Whether when you go shopping, is it necessary? Do you need it? So that's the first question you're going to ask. And if you need it and if you want it, then you say yes, you want it and you can buy it. But if you're just kind of like, say, oh, okay, I don't need it. So I would kind of like, give a tip to take away saying, if you don't need it, don't buy it. If you are desperate, then only buy it. So now, saying that, you take me to a sari shop and ask me this question. My question will always be no. Do you want it? It's always a yes. So that's as simple as that. But anyway, so it was, I just kind of like, pulled that up at the last minute because I was just given a couple of hours to sort this out. And I thought, okay, I just have to continue on with the topic. I'm not a finance expert, and it's all through like, moms, kind of like educating us, and that's how I have learned. And mom thought, she could share some for the senior citizens, which she kind of like underwent when my dad passed away, and that is what she learned recently. So then she thought, okay, I'm going to share that with my friends, and that's what she said about spouses passing away and making sure that either or survivor is kind of like mentioned on the FD forms when the fixed deposit occur. Things happen in India, so just make sure. And mom has a huge circle of friends, and when mom talks about this, the ladies there, they kind of just roll their eyes and say, oh my God, she knows so much. But technically speaking, if you kind of handle your finances and you are independent, you kind of get to know those terms and you're more confident in handling your finance. So that's what she did. And even now, if you compare moms, maybe other ladies, so from the same category, I don't think so, some ladies are confident in handling their finances. So you kind of get that only when you are able to handle yours in confidence and you're taught how to handle it and how you can do it. So that's how it kind of it kind of marries together. So that's how it comes. So that's all I have tonight. And next week, I will be having an interesting session. So stay tuned for the next week's session. And before I wind up, I've got a few ladies who have joined. I'll just say hello to them. I'll just go backwards. Brunda, thank you for joining in, Brunda. Pushpa Pandit, thank you. Shweta says we need to manage wants. Yes, Shweta, that is 100% correct. It's all in our will, right? So we can manage all our wants. So it need not be, I want to buy a sari, I can say, no, I don't want it. So you can control that. So that's all in your hands. Archana, thank you for joining. Sandhya, thank you for joining. Anusha, thank you. Suma, thank you. Suma is saying, hi, Hemaji, happy Republic Day. Thank you. Wish you the same. Mega, thank you for joining in. Josephine, thank you. Chitra, thank you. Archana, thank you. Anusha, thank you. Anusha saying, hi, Hema Auntie and Auntie, how are you? We both are fine, thank you. So you'll be seeing Mom on my Wednesday platforms. I'm so delighted to have her. Chaitra, thank you. Raji, thank you. Zara, thank you. Vijayalakshmi, thank you. Deepa, thank you. Smruti, thank you. Ashwini, thank you. Rupa, thank you. Rekha Shrikant saying, hi Hemaji, happy Republic Day. Same to you. Rekha, thank you. Nirupama, thank you. Lata Naidu saying she resembles like Channamma, her younger sister. Yes, Auntie. Her younger sister, I would say rather than Channamma Auntie, it should be Saroja Auntie. She and Saroja Auntie resemble each other. Lata Ramesh saying, hello Auntie, nice to see you. Thank you, Lata. Revati Prasanna saying Happy Republic Day. Thank you. Who else? Smita Sudeep, thank you. Kirti Goel, thank you. Lata, I think I have read these ones. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for being with me. So I ended up not canceling this. Just whatever tips I was able to share, I have shared it. So be financially independent. Just keep those finances on track with whatever you can, and mix and match your wants versus needs, and then income versus expenditure. So expenditure is always to the maximum. So just match those ones, and I would encourage you all to be financially independent and financially strong. Just like health is wealth, so wealth is also sometimes health. So take care of it in a nicer way. And, Lakshmi, in Kannada we say Lakshmi Valitale, so Lakshmi will come to you. So you manifest and she comes. So that's the positivity there. And I will be signing off, Mom and me. Signing off for tonight. Thank you, ladies, for joining in, and watch out for next Wednesday's session. It will be a very interesting one, and I look forward to having you all on this Wednesday platform for next Wednesday. See you, ladies. Bye for now.